Do you really think you can win?
Hello there, AfterMathGaming, and it is me, AceFront, for my first legitimate review for this site. You know, not something that was made for my channel and then, you know, ported to AMG, as I like to call it. Anyways, my second exclusive review, period, you know, just not just AMG, but my second exclusive review for Batman Arkham Asylum. This is specifically the Game of the Year edition. Now, I'll get it right out of the way right now. There is not much difference between this and the regular edition, except, if you can already tell, the game does feature a 3D mode. It comes with 3D glasses that is playable on any TV. Now, I will recommend something. If the TV is 32 inches or below, you will probably get a better effect than a TV about 42 inches. Because the effect is kinda not as good as on a smaller TV, if the TV is bigger. But either way, it works well. I mean, it's not active shutter or, like, you know, movie quality 3D, but it's still, it gets the job done if you want it. It's a nice little thing, but it's not like you'll be playing it in 3D a lot. Arkham Asylum, I just can't recommend it enough, but let me talk about the story. If you're a Batman fan, you're going to love Arkham Asylum's story. Like, really, I'm just recently becoming a little bit more of a Batman fan, and Arkham Asylum is such a good game in that aspect. Like, the story is just fantastic. It kind of droned, not really droned, but sort of like lost its bang at the very end of the game, but the story for the most part was consistent and very, very, very well written. In fact, all the characters in the script was just incredibly well written. Kind of dark too, but I'll get to that later. Just, like, I mean, I love the locations in the game, the story is just flat out incredible. The gameplay is also very good. The combat system is simple but very deep. I mean, it's not as deep as, say, Arkham City, but the combat system was very enjoyable. It had a nice balance between stealth and action. Sometimes stealth was the only way to go because it depended on your situation. I mean, you could any one of the two could be handled in either stealth or action, but one was more recommended than the other, but you can do it both ways. It's not as free as you might think at first, but if you get your way around it, you can do it in both action or stealth. You just have to be careful with them. But overall, the gameplay was very well done. The combat was very enjoyable. It was very beat 'em up, but it was, you know, it never got monotonous. And I wouldn't say the game was hard, but you will die a little bit. And it's not so much from falling off of ledges or anything, it's mainly just in combat. But it's a very linear game. I mean, sure, it's sort of got this HUD, it's like this expansive HUD, if you will, but not really. It's a very linear game, but you kind of don't think about it. Let me tell you, it's not an open world game like Arkham City is. This is mainly a linear action-adventure game. Like, it's sort of like Half-Life in that aspect. It's a very big game that does have some expansion, and it does do some backtracking, but it's not so much an open world game. It's just kind of linear, but that's alright because it does it very well, and it works because it's, you know, a Batman game. The upgrading system is something I really enjoyed, and you mainly just get it you don't just get it in combat, you get it from, like, you know, picking up Riddler trophies, or getting the Chronicles of Arkham, or finding secrets, or like, you know, audio diaries or whatever, told through, like, little film wheels or whatever, and secrets maps that show you where everything else is. Like, that's just not a cheat, you have to really look for them. Overall, yes, the gameplay is definitely worth it. Now we get on to the level design. Arkham Asylum is crafted very, very delicately. But my only... and it's just so well done, like, the level design is just fantastic. My only problem, though, is that, kind of going to gameplay again, you have this thing called detective mode. You just press L2 or on the Xbox 360 LB, or not LB, LT, sorry, and it brings up this very useful sort of like coloring that makes it so, you know, enemies are enemies are red and everything else is blue, so you can have a good idea on where they are. Or another example is like Riddler trophies are much easier to see with detective mode. But the problem with detective mode is that while it's so useful that sometimes I just keep it on. It outlines everything so well that the very hard work that the developers have put into Arkham Asylum is almost wasted. It's almost wasted because of detective mode. I mean, it's sort of like a double-edged sword. I mean, without it, the game looks amazing, but it's so much easier to deal with detective mode on. So it's really like a hit or miss. Like, you either like detective mode, or you think that it's just not... it just kind of detracts from the experience. But now we get on to the presentation. Arkham Asylum, like I said, just... the graphics are just fantastic. Like, for an Unreal game, this is beautiful. All the models look fantastic, the textures are very well done. The animation especially is incredible. The art style is fantastic, so it translates so well. And there are nice little, like, you know, effects, like, you know, little particle effects that just look very good. Another thing that was just fantastic about Arkham Asylum was the sound. Every little sound effect just sounds fantastic. If you have a headset, I highly recommend playing this game with it, because it does support, does it? Weird. I'd have to say that it supports surround sound, just like every game these days, but I'm just not seeing it on the back of this package. I'm pretty sure it would just sound amazing with a good headset, like, you know, to really absorb yourself in that world. But the thing that it really does shine in, voice acting. This is right up there with games like Uncharted and like Infamous as far as just phenomenal performances go. Every voice actor just sounds amazing in this game, and I think one of them voiced like two different characters, and they couldn't sound it more different. Like, really, the voice acting is just fantastic. And now the replay button. The campaign lasts about, if I had to take a guess, 10 hours. And that's a good pacing. It's not too long, it's not too short. And, I mean, to 100% everything would just be insane. And this is just the single player. And there are also challenge modes, which... the challenge modes are just a bloody good time. I mean, they are simple from, like, you know, kill this many enemies, right down to, like, you know, find these items while fighting these enemies, and then make it to the end in one piece. And you also get the ability to play as the Joker, which is a very good thing. Now, I don't know if the 360 ever got the Joker option, but I know it's on the PS3 version, and it's a very nice little thing. Like, challenge mode just adds on to the replay value. Now, again, buy Arkham Asylum if you haven't already. Because it's a Batman game, you might be like, is it really that good? Yes, it is. Arkham Asylum is not only a very good Batman game, it's also a very dark one, too. I mean, the gothic sort of, like, setting makes everything just, like, ooze personality. And overall, it's cheap these days. In fact, Walmart had it bundled with Arkham City, which is how I got it. But, just freaking amazing game. I don't know what else to say other than that. Please buy it. It's just so good.
Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to check out our Twitter and our blog for future updates, written reviews, and much more.